Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. Tomorrow is round 2 at the polls for several political candidates who find themselves in runoffs. The polls open at 7 in the morning. That means candidates are covering as much ground as they can today. Courtney Ann Jackson has the latest on Tate Reeves' last statewide tour before Election Day.
Tate Reeves is making a final push for votes from the top to the bottom of the state.
Today is really about turnout. We believe that if we can get a big turnout tomorrow, we're going to have a very successful night tomorrow night.
The day started greeting supporters in Olive Branch. DeSoto County is one of the counties that Reeves lost in the August 6th primary. Robert Foster, who has since endorsed Bill Waller, won the county that night. But Reeves says there's not a focus on just the counties he didn't win last go-around.
We've been trying to work very hard over the last 6 months to win every county in our state. We believe every single vote matters, and I've worked hard to earn the support and earn the endorsement of every single Republican primary voter, and we're going to continue to work hard to make sure that we do just that.
While the stops were short, he did thank supporters and volunteers that he says are a key to victory.
It is one of the advantages that we've had in this runoff. We did win 74 out of 82 counties. And the reason we won 74 out of 82 counties 3 weeks ago is because we had an organization in every county around the state.
As he pushes for Republicans to turn out, Reeves notes that he thinks it's been a respectful runoff.
We just disagree on the issues, and those are the two most important issues before voters tomorrow. Is do you want a Republican nominee that is for Obamacare expansion? Do you want a Republican nominee for governor that is for raising taxes on hard-working Mississippi families? And if you do, if that's what you're looking for, then maybe Judge Waller is your candidate. But if you want a true conservative, then I'm your guy.
Reeves also made stops in Hattiesburg and Gulfport.
We've still got to work hard to all the way up until 7 o'clock tomorrow to make sure more and more voters get to the polls.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
A candidate for Reeves' old job picks up a big endorsement today. First District Representative Trent Kelly announced he's supporting Delbert Hosemann during a news conference today at the Tupelo Furniture Market. Kelly said Hoseman's experience as Secretary of State has given him experience in budgeting and management, which he will take to the office of Lieutenant Governor.
He's just a man of integrity. He does great work for the state of Mississippi, but most importantly, he cares, and he's very forward-thinking. You know, he wants to do a lot of work as Lieutenant Governor in education and transportation, which people don't always think of as Republican issues, but I know that Delbert's going to make it those issues.
I mean, you think about his history as a general, fighting in the wars, district attorney, now leader in Congress on the Armed Forces Committee. Trent Kelly's got a rudder, and I'm glad he's steering our country the way it ought to be steered.
Hosemann faces Democrat Jay Hughes in November. Voting machines, they're being prepared and taken to polling locations. Now, you need to remember, if you voted in the Republican primary, you can only vote in the Republican runoff. The same holds true for the Democratic runoff. You cannot cross-party vote tomorrow. If you didn't vote in the primary election just a few weeks ago, you can vote Republican or Democrat. The polls again open at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they will close at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Time now to get a first look at our forecast. We'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
Scott, we've had a few showers out there again today and even early this evening. You can see that faint rainbow right there near Brooksville, Mississippi. Also a great sunset in the city of Starkville. And Scott, you were out in Columbus earlier. Check that out. All that color here on our Monday night. We have temperatures currently in the 70s. It's comfortable, but it's very humid. Storms back to the northwest are rumbling in Oklahoma and Missouri. We will have a taste for a few more storms around here on Tuesday. A front will move on through, and then we are looking at some great weather after tomorrow. But your Tuesday, upper 80s for highs. The full forecast is coming up.
We now know the name of the woman arrested after a police chase through Columbus that left one deputy injured. Captain Archie Williams says the female suspect is 31-year-old Lashadra Berry of Columbus. The chase started on Pickensville Road when a Lowndes County Narcotics Task Force unit tried to pull over a red Dodge Charger for a traffic stop. The chase ended with a crash in the Metoro parking lot on Highway 45. The suspect wasn't injured. Berry is expected to be charged with felony fleeing and felony drug charges. The deputy injured in that crash was taken to Baptist Hospital with unknown injuries, but we're told he is expected to be okay. Okolona firefighters did an upgrade today. The department rolled out its newly purchased fire truck. The Mississippi Development Authority helped the city come up with the money to pay for the more than $200,000 truck. It's the first truck the department has bought in nearly 2 decades. Fire Chief Terry Tucker says the new unit boasts up-to-date technology to better equip crews to battle the flames. Tucker also says it will improve the quality of life for people they serve.
This will be the next step in trying to lower our insurance rating, save our people, save our taxpayers and our citizens money on the insurance. Hopefully we'll be able to get to a Class 6 with this truck in the next couple of years with a couple other things we need to get done, and this is just a step toward that direction.
Anytime that we can increase the assets that the city of Oklahoma has is definitely an improvement, and to meet the needs of our citizens who are in distress, our citizens in case there's a fire, it is definitely a great asset for the city of Oklahoma and Chickasaw County.
Oglala Fire and Rescue now has a total of 3 trucks and a fire engine in its fleet. A new sheriff will be sworn in from Monroe County in just 4 months, but he's already busy learning the ropes. Allie Martin tells us how the sheriff-elect is preparing for his new role with a lot of help from some veteran officers.
For Kevin Crook, walking the halls of the Monroe County Sheriff's Department was a homecoming of sorts.
Coming back to something you're semi-familiar with, there have been a lot of changes made on the inside there for the department's been growing.
Crook was named Chief Deputy last week by the Board of Supervisors. He beat incumbent Cecil Cantrell earlier this month in the Democrat primary, and his Republican challenger Andy Hood dropped out of the race after Cantrell resigned abruptly. Supervisors appointed longtime Chief Deputy Curtis Knight as interim sheriff. He will hold that position until January, when Crook is sworn in. Crook has served as a deputy and a justice court judge for the past 12 years, so he knows a lot of the employees.
I'm going to help out where I can help out. At the same time, there's some things that this will allow me to work on to get in place for January, which is my vision is down the road, and so getting that in place is the most important thing to me, but I do want to be some help while I am here.
The sheriff-elect will be spending a lot of time at the Monroe County Sheriff's Department between now and January, but he's also going out on patrol when he can with the deputies.
It does just kind of come back to you, and you're in a little different role as chief deputy out there on the scene, but just watching the guys, seeing them do their job.
Longtime employees who also know the sheriff-elect believe a smooth transition is already underway.
We're going to continue on to protect the citizens of Monroe County. Be here. My office has got an open door policy.
We here at Monroe County Sheriff Department are looking forward to it and think would be better in this county in the long run.
Crook plans on sharing his vision for the future of the Sheriff's Department with employees during this transition period. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Both Knight and Lockett say they plan to continue working at the Sheriff's Department after Crook is sworn in.
Here's our Off Insurance Camera Network. Our time lapses from this evening. We had a little bit of rain. You can see that at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon. A great sunset in Louisville, Mississippi, and Columbus and Tupelo. Your full forecast is next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Some wet weather out there again today. It seems like the rain will just not stop. You can see the shower right there near Starkville earlier on our Monday. Also some of those low clouds moving across our region today. So some clouds, some showers. Some of you got good downpours today. Right now, no rain out there on our live Doppler radar. We do have some pretty good storms here in Oklahoma and Missouri. This is moving off to the southeast with a cold front. And you can see that front right there. Futurecast picking up on it. It looks like a lot of this will tend to weaken as it drifts closer to us later tonight, but I can see some sort of an outflow boundary that may be lingering tomorrow morning that will continue moving off to the southeast during the course of the day out ahead of the actual front, and that could actually spark some showers and storms around here. So we're going to go with about a 50% chance for some showers and storms here on our Tuesday. Some of you may miss out. Some of you may get soaked yet again. The front will move on through, and starting Wednesday, northerly winds, drier air, we will push all of that humidity, that deep tropical air down to our south, and it's really going to be great around here for Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, and for the start of the upcoming Labor Day weekend. So things are looking pretty good after tomorrow. Very humid right now. The front moves through, northerly winds develop, the drier air comes on in here, so we'll take it. Currently 75, very steamy in Columbus, 78 for you in Tupelo, 81 in Memphis right now. Lows should be into the lower 70s, so a few more degrees tonight. Generally quiet, can't rule out a late night storm, especially in the far northwest as that outflow boundary or front approaches our area. Now Tuesday, most of us probably won't see any rain at 7 o'clock, but just have your umbrella on standby because we do expect to see a chance for some of these showers and storms here tomorrow. Upper 80s to around 90. And once again, the rain chance about 50%. Winds from the south initially switching to the west and northwest 5 to 10. Some of you could get a pretty good soaking. We've had a lot of rain around here, and it just seems like it will just not end. Let's talk about the tropics. They are heating on up. Now, Dorian is actually weakening just a little bit here. Sustained wind as it moves over Barbados down to about 50 miles per hour, but still some potential for this thing to strengthen just a little bit and maybe become a Cat 1 storm as it approaches Puerto Rico Wednesday. And then it looks like it will hold together and may slip into parts of the Bahamas and maybe Florida here by the weekend. So we will be watching that as we go throughout the next couple of days. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Pretty warm for the next few days, but the air becomes drier. Lows may be down into the lower 60s here later this week, Scott, and a pretty nice start to the holiday weekend.
The new season of high school football is off to a flying start. Tom has the top plays a little bit later in sports. Welcome back, everyone. Summertime is pool time for many of us, but don't let that day in the water turn to tragedy. We'll learn more about water safety in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I am Dr. Lee Richardson, an emergency room physician at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight we will discuss how to stay safe in the water. Now that warm weather is here, everyone wants to be in or around the water. But while we were having fun and staying cool are top priorities, most people don't think about water safety. Drowning is the leading cause of death for people between the ages of 5 and 24. Learning to swim is essential if you plan on being in or near the water. Here are other tips for staying safe. Always swim with a partner, whether you are swimming in a backyard pool or lake or river. Get skilled. It's always good to be prepared. Learning life-saving skills such as CPR and rescue techniques can help you save a life. Know your limits. If you are not a good swimmer or if you're just learning how to swim, don't go in the water that's over your head. Dive safely. Diving injuries can cause permanent spinal cord paralysis and sometimes even death. Only dive in areas that are known to be safe, such as the deep end of a swimming pool. Never leave children alone in or near a pool or spa, even for a moment. Install a fence at least 4 feet tall around all 4 sides of a pool. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss more water safety tips.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
The 5 best plays from week 1 of the End Zone. Tune in next to see what our cameras caught this past Friday right after the break.
Sports with Tom Ebel.
Time to bring back one of my personal favorite segments, the top 5 plays from WCBI End Zone. Our cameras can catch some of the best plays in the state, but it's up to us to come up with just 5. Here are the best from week 1.
WCBI End Zone Top 5 Plays of the Week are brought to you by Subway. Make it what you want.
To number 5, we go to Tupelo. Golden Wave taking on South Panola. Jake Ware airs one out to Trip Wilson. The extension. What a grab on the sideline. That's a catch. 2 feet in. To number 4, TCPS staying up in Tupelo. Kai Holiday, skirt, makes half the defense look the other way. Skirt again, gets in. Kai can glide. One of his 6 touchdowns against Tisch County as TCPS goes 1-0. To number 3, our friends in West Alabama, Malachi Oglin. Just take the bubble screen. Adios, young man. Turns on the Jets. He gone. 50-yard touchdown. South Lamar gets the big rivalry win in week 1. Then to number 2, my favorite plays in football, the scoop and the score. But the best part about this is my man Tyrese Daniel, the defensive tackle, the big fella, turns on the Jets. See you later. Right before halftime, getting the big man touchdown. Aberdeen would go on to win. And let's keep the big man touchdowns rolling to Houston. Calvin McMillan. Look at the big fella show off the soft hands. Great catch. The man's got the yak ability, the yards after catch. Look at Calvin get all the way for the big man touchdown. The Mississippi State commit showing off the moves. It's like Chris Jones of old, shades of Stone Cold Jones in Hilltopper country. Calvin, keep scoring touchdowns so we can keep putting you on top plays here for WCBI End Zone. Week 1 of the college football season approaches. Mississippi State dealing with more than just game planning for Louisiana Lafayette. 10 players will inevitably be suspended for 8 games. And in the NCAA report on those sanctions, 4 of those players competed in at least 12 games in 2018. Head coach Joe Moorhead spoke about the sanctions today, saying what's done is done, and it's time to move forward.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, you work in a profession where, 18 to 21-year-old kids are forced to make decisions on a daily basis. And they were presented with a situation, made a poor choice, and had to deal with the consequence. And at the end of the day, it happened. It was identified. It was reported. We were sanctioned. The kids understand, and they pay the consequence for their choice. And we need to educate them. And this I'll say incident or episode, it hasn't done anything to quell my belief or desire to achieve great successes at Mississippi State, nor has affected recruiting or anything else. So to me, it was something that happened, it was acknowledged, and we're going to move on from it and be better from it.
Moorhead says those who are suspended won't be made official until Saturday. Some other notes from Mississippi State. Joe Moorhead saying junior quarterback Keaton Thompson is no longer with the team as he has entered the transfer portal. Moorhead also says transfer running back Kareem Walker will find out his status with the team over the next 2 days. And that transfer defensive tackle Alan Love's initial waiver to be immediately eligible for the Bulldogs in 2019 was denied by the NCAA, and that Mississippi State is appealing that ruling. Ole Miss prepares for the Memphis rivalry to renew. The Rebels and Tigers meeting for the first time since 2016. The Tigers feature a new offensive scheme since their last matchup, presenting an early test for a new-look Ole Miss defense.
The biggest challenge is watching, Marshall, but for scheme-wise, for the defensive coordinator, but having to try to picture the Memphis players in that scheme, because when you're watching scheme, you have to watch another, but they're having to do the same thing for us as well.
Us being ready for all their different schemes is what the issue would be. Mike does a great job putting formation to the boundary, overload unbalanced sets, spreading you out. So we've been working hard on formation of the boundary sets and unbalanced sets to be able to try to stop Patrick Taylor.
Quick look at the schedule for week 1. Mississippi State and Ole Miss kicking off at 11 a.m. The Bulldogs on ESPN, the Rebels on ABC. College football's back, folks. It's time to enjoy a good Saturday of football. That's it for sports. Last look at your weather is next.
All right, here's our AccuWeather 7-day forecast. A chance for a few more storms and showers here with that front tomorrow. Then some drier air Wednesday, Scott. We may not see any rain Wednesday, but the big story will be the dry air coming on in. Great weather for football this week. And some comfortable overnight lows. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, I like the 60s.
Open up the windows.
Yes, definitely. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.